So we have the anonymous gunman 2 weeks after Brenton Tarrant, which rationalises the disarmament of the warrior nation in New Zealand. And then some fake royal commission that's not going to say where Brenton Tarrant, who his family is. It's not going to look into his connections. It's not going to look into his connections potentially in Australia. I suspect it's government run, right? I suspect but I could be completely wrong. But the problem is, why would an Australian travelling man get radicalised and then go to New Zealand? It makes no sense. There's a mosque right here in Sydney. Why did the Lint Cafe terrorist go to a Lint Cafe? John Howard has offices down the road. Why didn't he go to Canberra and start blazing? Sounds like horseshit. Then we have these weird cases of one-hit, king-hit punches. Can there be a bio or a chemical weapon that enhances aggressive behaviour? I suspect so. We know angel dust does that. So why were these random kids suddenly doing one-hit punches? Just walking along and just king-hitting people. What was causing that? All we have is it became a cultural thing, and then they did a lockdown. Didn't they do some kind of lockdown in Sydney? That was the first lockdown, right? Can't have alcohol. Can't go into pubs after a certain time. Was there something in the alcohol causing it? Because they said alcohol was at the source of it, right? Was there a randomized, who knows? But it caused aggressive behavior. And if you look at New Year's Eve and you look at the state of our kids, drunk, vomiting, emotional, all of this emotionalism happening on the streets of King's Cross, that's not a celebration. That's an indoctrination into alcoholism. So the Brenton Tarrant thing, that was our first gunman, right? 2 weeks after, if you think about it, it was a minor mass shooting because it shot, the story is he shot one guy for his VW van, then drove somewhere, then got out of the van and left the van there. We haven't heard anything since. So is our government's attacking us in order to create new laws, right? Usurping laws. So what's happening in America right now is people are questioning this incarceration system due to the 13th Amendment and looking at defunding police who are just walking around killing people. A 13-year-old boy, imagine that, a 7th grader gets shot, probably on his way home. Imagine dealing with that disaster. So here in Australia, we've just had our neo-Nazi at Channel 9, right? He just happened to be there when there was a black security guard. Oh, look at that, Peter Costello. Just happened to be there when there was a black security guard. Come on, dance monkey. But where is Thomas Sowell? I can't find him on Facebook. I can't find him on Instagram. I can't find him on YouTube. Can someone give me that link? I sent it to Avi Yemeni. He's a right-winger. He wants to work for the military and the police. Avi Yemeni gets arrested in a very soft fashion at Black Lives Matter protests. And then he's talking about white people getting brutalized by police. Then protect white people. Don't say, well, white people get shot as well. That's an apologist for killing. What are you going to do about it, Avi Yemeni? Fraser Manning, Scott Morrison, Police Commissioner Fuller, Police Commissioner Patton. What's the end goal here? Right? So these, to what Morrison needs, what these police need, are these neo-Nazis attacking and stray shooting who? Are they going to go after someone in Parliament? Are they going to go to a Black Lives Matter rally? Because they're not going to go to get the priests that shag your kids. They're not going to go get the bankers that steal your superannuation. And then they'll talk about, we're doing it for the Anzacs. Are you going to get the bankers? Are you going to go after Morrison? MichaelWest.com.au has got over 80 stories about corruption, theft, Are the neo-Nazis going to do that, or are they going to just go to Channel 9 and have some manufactured fake peace? Right? Where is Thomas Sowell? I'll interview you, Thomas Sowell. I'm not afraid. I'll interview you. We'll Zoom. Or we'll go to a police PCYC club. And I'll interview in front of the police. See if I get protection or get my ass kicked. Right? So I suspect the alt-right narrative and the pictures in The Guardian is all a way of manufacturing a new world order, a new system of law that looks like it's protecting us because they need a domestic terrorist crisis, so they need a shooting, right? They need some guy with a gun to now randomly shoot, because all of the stories through 7, 9 and 10 on Instagram have been knives, axes, rusty axes, after I put my rusty axe on, girls in her jeeps robbing 7-Elevens with an axe and a knife, which looks like horse shit to me. Right? So we've got all of these stories that are grooming and massaging like a paedophile priest or pastor, Houston, with 7 or 8 kids. Right? I wonder if that's true. Right? So it's massaging and grooming the public towards a fear-based modality so they can usurp laws and say, we're doing it for your protection. Like priests that don't want you to go to hell and then shake your kids in the ass. We've got to save the little children from the devil. Right? Scott Morrison and his dumbass religion. So that's what I suspect is going on, and slowly Australia and New Zealand have been massaged towards the point of a terrorist domestic police unit, right, who will then point the finger at people like me and say, he's an extremist. They'll talk about my conspiracy theories, but won't talk about the conspiracy theory of weapons of mass destruction, the conspiracy theory of the devil and Jesus and Adam and Eve, the conspiracy theory of Chinese Uyghurs, the conspiracy theory of, what they're doing in China is extracting organs from Falun Gong, right? CIA is pushing that shit. And all the Chinese are believing it, right? Oh, well, what it is the Uyghur Muslims are being raped by Chinese soldiers. Oh, well, what it is they're killing babies. George Bush Sr. regarding Saddam Hussein's men having Viagra to rape babies to then kill them. I mean, John Howard. Well, what it is the indigenous are poor, and that causes paedophilia, so we're going to have an intervention. Then what does he do? Steal all the money. Didn't you just say that causes paedophilia? Who's pushing the paedophilia, incest, porn right now? X-Videos. Who pushes X-Videos and Pornhub? Google. Who's Google tied to? CIA. So we've got a psychosexual socialization process underway to create paedophilia. Who got $78 million for an international paedophile ring? Paedophile Dutton. He's got files on everybody. Don't you, Dutton? So all of these lies are working with children check, $120. But paedophilia is going up. How's that crime statistics agency going, Commissioner Patton? That he linked to after he said, mental health crisis, man with a knife, we killed him. He ran the gauntlet through beanbags, plastic bullets, truncheons, pepper sprays, shields, but this man with mental illness that was distressed and blocks the Monash Highway is dead. What's his name? Who's his family? What colour is he? Where's the psychologist to talk about his mental health issues? Oh, we don't know who's got the $1.25 billion worth of funds to be able to get 2 lots of methamphetamine into Australia and $18 million worth of heroin. But we don't know who it is, even though we've got 4 big banks, an ATO and the Reserve Bank. You're having a laugh, Morrison. So what are they doing? They're lying to the public because they need a police state. They need to manufacture a domestic crisis on paedophilia, domestic violence, suicide, methamphetamine, and kids with axes, knives, and guns. So the guns that are probably being pushed in like the meth, they know where they are. They're tracking them. Like they track the urine and feces to see who's taken drugs and where. So they can measure the amount of their corporate theft and the drug taking, and whether it's growing over time, which would align with crack cocaine. So they've got a sophisticated unit of tracking behavior from your urine and feces to your online visits to porn sites. So they're tracking everything. And then they're going to market certain things to you to see how effective the brainwashing of consumerism, violence, and white supremacy is. This is the heretic.